Hello, everybody, and welcome to a little bit of a different type of video. I did, when I first started this channel, I did a few breakdowns of Has Been Hotel characters, their place in the lore, what they rep- what they represented, what they meant, etc. That content, while fun to make, was not what brought me most of my subscribers, and I am happy that I have as many subscribers as I have. However, I would love to get back to some analysis based content because it's been a while since I've done that. And I figured, why not? Why don't we go with something I've already dipped my toes in a little? So let's talk about Marvel Rivals. This game overall is highly experimental, right? You can see elements from Overwatch, from Paladins, from hundreds of other games being thrown together and finally allowing us to play as characters we have been begging to play as for so damn long. Like, I mean, come on. Who has not wanted to play as Thor and kick Loki's ass or play as Loki and absolutely murder Venom? Plus, with the cool character interactions and the absolutely amazing art design, the game is overall amazing. I'll admit, though, it has its issues. It's got a few balancing issues I've noticed. Almost every character feels overpowered, which at the same time manages to give the game a slight bit of charm that most games don't have. The only downside is you get the occasional character that feels slightly underpowered. I'm specifically referring to, and this may be a little controversial. This is, again, just a quick rant about my thoughts about the game and such. But I'm specifically referring to, in this case, Namor and, shoot, the name got lost. Oh, yeah. Namor and Groot. Both are characters that I don't see played a lot, and characters that I feel like could use a few minor adjustments. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. What I'm here to talk about today is the Marvel Rivals channel trailer. Now, they're doing contests. People who can break down the trailer and show us some intriguing and point out some of their intriguing little Easter eggs they've hidden in there. There's some kind of reward involved. I'm gonna sign up for the contest with this video, although the reward is not why I do this. Let me make that very clear. I'm doing this because I have some thoughts on the recent trailers dropped for No One Rivals Doom and the fucking Jeff the Land Shark. You guys probably think I'm fucking kidding here, but no. They added fucking Jeff the Land Shark before adding Wolverine, and that is part of why I love this game. Because they're not going for the popular characters right away. They are going for the characters that work best in the environments, fit well in the story, which the story is something we'll get to in a bit. But they fit well in the story. They're going for all that. But anyhow, let's start with the Jeff the Landshark trailer because it is by far the shortest of them all. It's kind of basic. It just looks like... I'm pulling it up right now off to the side so I can watch it while I'm talking because I'm going to be completely honest, I don't like scripting these because I feel like if it's going to be my pure thoughts, it needs to be the thoughts that... I mean, like, I've got a baseline written down, obviously, with all my thoughts, but it's got the thoughts that, come to my head when I think about this game. The point is, that, if I pull it up here, see, you get the regular Marvel Rivals intro, the Marvel trailer intro. And then let's talk about this environment that he's in first. Something has happened here. I'm not 100% on Jeff's backstory. I'm going to be honest. Let me real quick. I researched several other characters. I completely forgot about Jeff. Okay, yeah. I'm a fast reader, so I should be able to handle this. Yep, okay, so he's a MODOK experiment. This looks like it could be hinting at some sort of MODOK lab or AIM or Hydra lab. I will say, in the game, there is no Captain America. We have not heard anything about good old Captain A. Nor have we heard anything about Hydra, Red Skull, any of them. Which automatically makes me suspicious that Jeff the Land Shark, a character made by MODOK, who again is a subset of... MODOK is a subset of AIM, who, if I'm not mistaken, is a subset of Hydra. Point is, Jeff the Land Shark being added is very intriguing. His intro just mainly puts him in like this destroyed, kind of ominous environment, and then has him sing his own theme song for a little while. I'm watching very closely for anything off I see. Hang on. I will say, the designs on his back, where like they've darkened out the spots, that very interesting details in there, but nothing too concrete that we need to talk about today, because I know what you're all waiting for. You're all waiting for me to get to the real trailer. But first, let's talk about that quick ending with the bubbles. I'm assuming that's going to be some kind of primary shot. Obviously, by the time this is coming out, he has not come to the game yet. Let me make that clear. He will be coming on July 27th, which is the day after this video comes out, which, you know, is going to be a pain in the ass. Now let's move on to the real trailer that everyone is excited for, myself included. First thing I'd like to mention is that Doombots are fucking everywhere. Look at those fuckers. They are mean looking, they are aggressive, and I'm willing to bet that they will eventually make up some kind of PvE mode. Another thing I'd like to point out is when Penny Parker talks, her mouth does not seem to move, which is odd. I don't know if that's animation mistake, or maybe that's like, I don't know. She doesn't have psionic abilities to my knowledge, so it's kind of an interesting little thing. The next thing that I really want to talk about for a bit is Thor. This mofo shows up midway through the beta and fucking breaks my mind. Okay, for those of you who have not paid attention to the Marvel Rivals lore, let me catch you up. Loki wanted to drain Yggdrasil, so while his father was in the Odin sleep, he cast Thor out of Asgard and immediately took over with Hela, his sister, at his side. That's kind of what causes a lot of the rifts and shit we see, is Loki draining Yggdrasil. Which we'll get to the main villains of Marvel Rivals in a bit, because this trailer shows what I'm thinking are going to be the big three when it comes down to villains, but we'll get to that. Point is, these rifts appear to be caused by Loki draining Yggdrasil, which, if you guys don't know, is the life tree, and in the MCU, it was actually Loki who created it, but no. Here it looks like we get Loki draining it for his own purpose. Something about the sap changed, and it's now producing a different kind of sap. That makes me think, and we see Yggdrasil in the recent trailer, that makes me think that Thor is obviously coming back to protect Yggdrasil from Loki, and here's where the big fight's going to begin, and where the game picks up. Let's talk about Thor's arms real quick, because he has either some heavy plated ass metal arms, or there was a storyline in the comics recently that had Thor lose his arms, and these arms were I saw someone saying these arms are very reminiscent of the Destroyer from the first Thor movie from the comics. He's like Asgard's like executioner and shit. He is a big weapon for Odin. It'd be so cool to see, because we've seen the Destroyer in the game before. He is hanging on a wall in Asgard. I'll try to pull that picture up right here now, because I took a screenshot of it to send to one of my buddies, to send to Ashley even, a long time ago. But yeah, the Destroyer's there, and the Destroyer has his arms though. So I don't think, if these are the Destroyer's arms, I think we'll know by going to that map and seeing if the arms are missing on the actual Destroyer. If they're not, then sorry Thor, you've got regular armor, or you just have different arms than the Destroyer. Then his hammer. His hammer is darker in color than it normally is, and some people have been saying maybe that could be because of Black Uru, or Dark Uru, or whatever it's called. For those who don't know, Thor's regular hammer, Mjolnir, is made out of Uru in the Marvel Universe. Not in mythology. Mythology is completely different. The point is, Black Uru is supposedly some darker but more powerful version. Again, that's not something I can really comment on until we see his lore post when he enters the game. Let's see here. He has the battle with the Loki gas cloud, which is intriguing, lasts only a couple of seconds. But Loki is obviously, I feel like, slightly scared to face Thor. And here's where we get the big reveal of Doctor Doom himself. Here is the issue. What scares me the most is Doom was not announced. He was shown in the trailer, yes, but he was not announced as a playable character yet, versus Thor and Jeff, who both have been announced. Which I am really hoping they make Doom and the next person who we're going to get to in a bit playable. Point is, though, we see Doom holding this orange thing, and at the very end of the trailer, we're going to skip ahead because there's a huge segment on another character that I want to talk about, but at the very end, we see him reconnecting with what is either a past version, a future version, or some kind of alternate version of himself. One of which has the medieval castle that we all know and love, Doom having. The other of which is like this weird futuristic spaceship. One Doom has like an orange molten kind of eye going on with a purple cloak. The other has a green sort of thing going on. The other has the regular thing. And another thing I want to point out is we see a rift and we see people jumping from it. I doubt this is connected in any way to the MCU. But these rifts are very reminiscent of Spider-Man No Way Home. If you guys remember that ending sequence, we saw the rifts in the sky, Doctor Strange casted the spell, etc., etc. Which, speaking of Doctor Strange, that's a whole can of worms. His portals, I'm getting sidetracked. Sorry about that. Had an issue with Discord. Had to solve it real quick. But as I was saying, we have so much. We have plenty of footage of Doctor Strange and him, not Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom, and him reconnecting with his, either his, I'm guessing it's his future self, based on the more futuristic ship, and his words of, whether past or future, no one rivals Doom. But the big problem, again, that I'm seeing, what scares me, is he is not shown as a playable, which is frightening, because I really want him to be playable. We need more villains as playables, because we'll get to it in a bit, but the only other villain really referenced in the game, he's not shown in the trailer, but I'll try to pull up some footage of him for you, is the Master Weaver. Here's the thing, I did some research. this is one of the characters I was talking about earlier that I researched prior to this video. And the Master Weaver, the one that we see, is Karn. He is the home of the Elder Gods and the Web of Destiny. And I'm looking at the official Marvel database here. He is essentially in charge of weaving time and destiny itself, which is possibly part of why he's so featured in the game, because this game has a lot to do with temporal rifts, time, destiny, and all that being fucked up. Here's the thing. He can only be freed of his duty by death. Any person with spider powers can become the Master Weaver, but Karn, he didn't have them originally. He got this position by like consuming some sort of essence of some kind, and he can only be freed from this duty by death. I almost think, and by the way, it's called the Web of Life and Destiny. That's what he manages. But I almost think that what we do in the game is we're acting as part of his plan to free himself. Right? Because remember, he's weaving the Web of Life and Destiny, and in the comics, Spider-Zero is the current, but takes over after Karn. And if you guys don't know, in the map, our whole goal is to help Spider-Zero betray her master and close the rift. Meanwhile, or we can help the Master Weaver, depending on what side you're on, keep the rift open or do whatever to it. He kind of shoots it with a beam. I'm not 100% certain what that's supposed to do. Point is, I think he's manipulating something somehow. And I think a lot of this is somewhat his design. Something here is his design. I don't know what yet. Again, a lot of this is going to be me spitballing ideas and such as to what's going to happen. But he is manipulating something here. But I don't think he's connected with the other three main villains that I want to talk about today. This thing is something that I haven't seen anyone commenting on, and it makes me very sad and makes me almost second guess myself as to whether or not my theories are correct here. But for those in the closed beta, which if you guys don't know, I've been streaming the closed beta for a while now. For those in the closed beta, if you will take and go to Venom's lore page, it specifically mentions that Venom has a choice. Side with Null and cause the end of reality, or go betray the Master Null and usurp his throne. Or just kill him. The big problem I'm seeing here is not a lot of people, I don't think, have read the lore page as much as they should have, because he is not the only person to mention Null. Oh shit, I forget who it was, but one other person mentions Null. I need to pull up the page. I'm going to be doing that in the background then. But point is, for those of you who don't know, Null is the king and god of the symbiotes, who created the symbiotes because he was mad that creation got, created. He existed before creation. He intends to be the only thing in creation. In the King in Black storyline, Venom and Carnage take over Null. Here it is. It's Groot. I'm going to read this quote for quote. Groot accompanied Star-Lord and Rocket on a scouting mission to Clintar, which if you guys don't know is the symbiote planet, where they became stranded after their ship was shot down. Clintar's Dark King, Null, now seeks to corrupt Groot's regenerative powers in an effort to cultivate the ultimate symbiote. Boom. Null is mentioned twice, and I don't think that's a coincidence, especially with And you guys are probably wondering why I'm going on and on about fucking Null. Here's why. Let's take a look at that trailer again. Right after the first glimpse of Doctor Doom, what do we see? We see a bunch of black, like liquidy type shit flying together and forming a giant black bat. Black and red covers the sky. And what colors does Null wear? What are his main colors? He's the god of the symbiotes. I'm willing to bet he can come up. Plus, I mean, hold on. Let's look at the bat in the one shot where it swirls around the tower. That even looks like Null's face! So I think we finally found our three main villains. What I'm thinking are going to be the three main villains for Marvel Rivals. You have Loki draining a substance called chronovium or some shit like that from the life tree, causing the quantum entanglement. You have Doctor Doom abusing the quantum entanglement to gain complete power and team up with past and present and future versions of himself, which, let's be honest, what better Doom thing to do. And finally, you have Null, whose motive, I'm going to be completely honest, I can't quite figure out, but he's clearly here on Earth. He's got fucking demon bats flying around, symbiotes and shit. But yeah, that's just a quick rant about what all I can see from the trailer, what all it looks like is happening, and where I think the future of this game is going. So if you guys enjoyed this episode and would like to see more quick rants like this about not just Marvel Rivals, but other games, other theories I have, other things I noticed in the trailer that some people might not notice. If you guys enjoyed this episode and would like to see more analysis like this, please like, subscribe, comment below. We have a Discord channel. It'll be linked in the description below. You should join it. I'll see you all in the next episode. I hope you all have a fun 3 night.